Okie dokie, Pickle. As you may know, I believe it's a week from Saturday, we will have a college football season in the state of Texas will begin in earnest. In fact, if you go to one of my favorite websites, lsufootball.net/tvschedule.htm.
It's that season.
Mwah. Mwah. I love you, lsufootball.net/tvschedule.htm. You have to do that exact thing or it won't work. But I can tell you,
to study
I can tell you, 8:30 p.m. Central. Another thing I love about lsufootball.net/tvschedule.htm.
God's time zone.
They use God's time zone. That the season will kick off at 8:30 p.m. Central Time as UTEP travels to take on New Mexico State. So we are now 9 days away from college football season in the state of Texas, and I am here to tell you what's going to happen. I'm going to issue my 5 bold predictions for the 2021 college
I know. I was just fixing
football
that.
season.
Also, I just have to say, I left this graphic the same with just the breaking because when I was watching the show the other day and Malpal, you were like, did you put breaking on this? I just love that. So I left it.
Yeah. So I've got my 5 bold predictions for the 2021 college football season in the state of Texas. Okay. Some of them are pretty bold. Include, I think the last one's pretty bold.
Yeah, you put all your eggs in one basket, my friend.
All right, let's get to my 5 bold predictions. Prediction number 1.
Boom.
The state of Texas will have a finalist for the Walter Payton Award, the Harlan Hill Award, and the Gallardi Trophy in 2021. Now, if you don't know what those are, the Walter Payton Award is given to the most outstanding player in FCS. Mm-hmm. Last year, Eric Schmid absolutely should have been a finalist for it.
Yes.
But the Walter Payton Award forgot he existed.
If you can't tell, we're still bitter.
But a player from Texas will be a finalist for the Walter Payton Award. A player from Texas will also be a finalist for the Harlan Hill Award. The Harlan Hill Award is given to the most outstanding football player in Division II. Think of it like the D2 Heisman Award. Of course, Texas has a history of putting up Harlan Hill Award players. Luis Perez won it for Texas A&M Commerce. If you're asking me to pick a guy, I think Miklo Smalls, the quarterback for Texas A&M Commerce this year, could be that guy. But I think Texas will have a Harlan Hill Award trophy nominee. And also, I'm going to call my shot, and I think we're going to have a Gallardi Trophy finalist. And the Gallardi Trophy, if you didn't know, the Gallardi Trophy is the Division III Heisman. It's a Division III Heisman. Now, this is notable because a Texas college football player has never won the Division III, the Gallardi Trophy. Now, a lot of that is because the best Division III team in the state of Texas, Mary Hardin Baylor, how do I put this in a nice way? They play a very unsexy brand of football that just wins. Like, they just run the ball well, and their defense is unbelievable.
Absolutely dominate people.
And their special teams are great and all this fun stuff. But that's not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily produce stars. I think this is the year that turns around. I think we're going to have a finalist for the Walter Payton Award, the Harlan Hill Award, and the Gallardi Award, all in the state of Texas in 2021. I'm calling my shot there.
I was glad that you went with a kind of like some small school hype, like right off the bat. That gets me fired up.
I did think about, I'll say this, I did think about saying Heisman. Mm-hmm. But I don't know that there's a guy, specifically like the guy who's probably, in my opinion, the most likely would be a guy like Sincere McCormick.
Yeah.
But so many things have to go right for him to be in New York. I just don't see that necessarily.
No,
so,
like if you would have,
we could be surprised.
Okay,
we could be surprised. Like maybe Isaiah Spiller goes nuts for A&M. Maybe Bijan Robinson for Texas goes nuts.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a guy at maybe like whoever wins the SMU quarterback job just starts going crazy, or maybe Tyler Shuck, the quarterback at Tech, goes crazy, right? Yeah. But right now I don't necessarily see it. But I will say Walter Payton Award, Harlan Hill Award, Gallardi Award, all going to have a finalist from the state of Texas.
I like it. All right, number 2 here.
Number 2! At least one Texas FBS team will win their conference. Okay? Now, that's saying something because if you remember, I don't believe, let me make sure I've got this right. I don't believe we've had an outright conference champion at the FBS level in a minute. It's been a couple of years since we've had that, including, let's see, so we didn't have any in 2020. 2019 did not have any. 2018, I probably should have done this before I came on the air with my prediction. 2018 did not have one. 2017 might have been the year Houston won the AAC. Is that right?
Yes.
No, 2017, no, we didn't have one. 2016, is that the last time? You're listening to live coverage of me looking up the last time. Texas had an FBS team, not 2016.
Well, okay, hang on. Are you talking about regular?
Houston won the American Athletic Conference in 2017.
Hang on,
2015.
but are you talking about regular season or conference championship?
I'm saying you win the conference.
Okay, well,
so whatever that means.
North
if that
Texas
means
did that in 2017.
2017?
Yeah, they won conference. Well,
I don't think that's true.
Oh, I guess they won the West.
2017, they won the West. Conference USA champion that year is Florida Atlantic.
Gotcha.
So I'm saying I'm going on a limb. It's been since 2015 that we've had an outright conference champion from the state of Texas in FBS. It's going to happen this year. There are obviously some candidates I think you can think of, right? I think UTSA can win Conference USA. I think A&M could win the SEC if things break in the right way. I think that Texas or maybe a team like TCU as a sleeper could be at least in the conference championship game, and that could put them over the top. I think either SMU or Houston could win the American Athletic Conference. Okay? There's a lot of different options there. I think that there's enough possibilities there that I'm willing to go out on a limb and say one of us is going to hit. One of them is going to happen. A Texas team will win their conference in 2020. A Texas FBS team.
All right.
I'm calling my shot here. I'm going to say that at least one Texas FBS team wins their conference. I think UTSA in Conference USA is most likely because I think they have the best combination of relative strength to the conference.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we keep saying that that game between them and UAB at the last home game of the season could be for the championship.
Could be huge, or at least for a spot in the USA title game.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with one Texas FBS team wins their conference. Prediction number 3, at least one Texas team will win a national championship. National dang championship. And here's the thing.
Are you betting on them Bearcats again?
I think there's multiple.
Yeah.
Okay? And you got to go sub FBS because I'll be honest, I don't necessarily see any of the teams winning a national championship from Texas in 2021 in FBS. So that's me. That's me.
Yeah.
I think Ohio State, Alabama, and Clemson still exist. But I think Sam Houston State, and really, I think the FCS ranks are going to be very loaded for Texas in 2021. I think that Sam Houston State, of course, the reigning national champions, they have a great shot. I think Division II, I think A&M Commerce has got a great shot in Division II, or the winner of the Lone Star Conference. I've said for years, I think that the Lone Star Conference is, in my opinion, the finest conference in America at the Division II level. There's a huge game. A&M Commerce has a huge non-conference game against West Florida early in the season. That is going to really tell the tale. If they go and they beat them, because I think West Florida is the defending national champions. They beat them, watch out for them.
Yeah.
And then Division III, hey, by the way, Mary Hardin Baylor.
Yeah,
Baylor. There was no Division III
there.
title. There's no Division III title last year. Mary Hardin Baylor win undefeated. They looked the part. They're back. I think they got a great shot. I think Texas will bring home a national championship. The state of Texas will bring home a national championship
which
in
would
2021.
be 2 years in a row.
Back to back. That's right. Yeah, did Marion Baylor win 2019? Might be 3 years. Anyway, it's not here nor there. Number 4. Getting a little bold here now.
Yeah, this is where you start.
Now we're ramping up.
You're heating it up here.
There'll be 3 new FBS coaches in Texas in 2022.
All right.
Okay. Now, right now, I think there are 2 names that you can spring to mind that you think if things don't go well, it's gonna be church.
Matt Wells
at Tech and Dana Dimmel at UTEP. I think those are 2 guys who I think are firmly, if they're not on the hot seat, they are near enough to the hot seat that they can feel it. Okay?
I think there's 2 more that.
I think there's a couple more.
Yeah,
that
and
could
maybe
be
even
in the mix.
3 more.
Okay?
Seth Luttrell.
I think Seth Luttrell at North Texas probably needs to have a good year, or else I think the natives are going to get restless in Denton.
Dana?
I think Dana Holgerson probably needs to win something at Houston.
Or
and
just
I know
figure out a
he's-
culture for his
I know
program?
he's had a couple of weird years, but I think that if they bottom out this year, I think there's a greater than 0 chance that he's out.
Yeah.
What
About Spav?
And then here's the other thing.
Are they committed?
I think Spavital is going to be fine.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to ditch him. I think that the Texas State brass, although they have a new AD, and you never know when they have a new AD.
Right.
Right.
Sometimes that's more of
that matters.
a view from the viewership.
But here's another thing. Okay, so I don't think Steve Sarkisian's going to leave after 1 year. I don't think Jimbo Fisher's going anywhere. I don't think now. But there's a couple of things here. Let's say UTSA wins the conference.
Jeff Traylor says bye-bye.
I'm not even saying he says bye-bye. I'm saying he's going to get some phone calls.
Yep.
Okay? He's going to get some phone calls.
Yeah.
Let's say Matt Wells, it doesn't work out for Matt Wells at Tech.
Mm-hmm.
Don't they put in a phone call to Sonny Dykes at SMU?
Yeah.
That would count, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Gary Patterson's going anywhere, right?
No.
But I don't think Dave Aranda's going anywhere at
Mm-hmm.
Baylor. But I think there's enough candidates out there that my number's 3. I think we'll have 3 new FBS coaches in Texas.
Especially if you're
2022.
considering maybe a Texas coach, like if
Yeah.
Jeff Traylor went
Right.
to somewhere else,
Right.
like in Texas.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then here's
the big one.
Whew, ready?
Number 5.
And boom.
Texas A&M is going to make the college football playoff.
All right.
I'm calling my shot.
There
Texas
you go.
A&M is going to make the college football playoff. Now, here's why. I think their defense is going to be awesome. You seen the cover of Dave Campbell's Texas football? I think their defense is going to be awesome.
Oh, is that why we put them on there?
That's one reason. I think their defense is going to be awesome. They have 2 big question marks. And if you have those big question marks, I understand it, right? They have a question mark at quarterback, and they have a question mark on the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do the second part first. The offensive line, a lot of what you're banking on is the ability for Jimbo Fisher and the recruiting that they've done to fill in gaps and be impact players right away. I think that they have been one of the finest offensive line recruiting places in America the past few years.
Yeah.
I think they have guys who are ready to step in and ready to step up. Are they going to be right away fantastic? Maybe not. Maybe it takes a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one thing that I think that they've earned the benefit of the doubt of going plug and play. And the guys they do have back, like Kenyon Green, are monsters that I think are going to be able to hold their own. So there's that. The other one's quarterback. I think my feel for the situation is that Haynes King's going to be the guy. I think Haynes King's going to be the guy. And with so much talent around him,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he has to go out there and be Johnny Manziel.
No.
He does not have to go out there and be the very best player in America for Texas A&M to do what they need to do.
He needs to be disciplined like he is.
Correct. Just don't throw the ball into traffic.
Yep.
Make the right reads, things like that. Furthermore, the A&M schedule, in my opinion, sets up for them to do what they need to do. Okay? Fundamentally, like they avoid everyone who's, in my opinion, difficult in the East.
Mm-hmm.
The teams they play in the East are Mizzou. Okay, that should not cause them any trouble.
Boo!
To me, South Carolina,
Who has been just trash.
and with a new coach, right, in Shane Beamer, and then they play, and those are the only 2. They only have two crossover games, so they don't get Florida, they don't get Georgia, they don't get teams like that, right? I think the SEC West as a whole is going through a little bit of transition.
Mm-hmm.
I think
would agree with
I
that.
think that LSU now they don't their quarterback Miles Brennan got hurt. They don't really know what they're going to be. I think that they could take a step back, or at
They've
least
really just
kind
been
of
a big question
or at
mark
least
since they won.
treaded water, right? Auburn, new coach Brian Harsin.
For the first time in a long time. That's a
They
big
finally got off
transition.
they finally got off the Gus bus. The Mississippi schools. I mean, there are people who are starting to buy in on what Lane Kiffin's doing at Ole Miss, and they do have to go on the road to Ole Miss. I'm not ready to hop on that bandwagon. And then, now there's that's not to say there are not teams that could up and nab them, right?
Right.
Arkansas is better. They are going to be better. I still think A&M's better than them.
You can't fall. There's a couple games they just can't fall asleep in.
Don't fall
and
asleep.
It should be a good win.
Don't fall asleep, right? But of course, all this comes around to October 9th.
Mm-hmm.
October
As it does
9th
every year.
against Alabama. Here's why I think Texas A&M is going to be in the college football playoff. I don't think they have to win that game to get in it.
I think they just have to keep it close.
And in fact, if they go, look, I think that game is not irrelevant, but I think if they win that game, then they are of course in the driver's seat to make it to the SEC title game and play for an SEC title game. If they're in the SEC title game, they're gonna be in the playoff,
Right.
win or lose.
Mm-hmm.
If they lose that game, but they win out and they go 11-1, I think they're the 4th team.
Yeah.
I think they're the 4th team.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Because the only other, that contesting
At that point,
it
I mean,
would
you're
be up to an
look,
Oklahoma.
it's going to be.
an
I mean, it's going to be.
Oklahoma
It's going to be
or
white
Texas.
knuckle time.
Yep.
It's going to be white knuckle selection Sunday or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they're going to be in. If that happens, and I think that so in a lot of ways, don't get your doors blown off at home by Alabama.
Mm-mm.
win the games that you're better than the teams that you're playing, and you're in the playoff. I think they're going to do it. I think A&M becomes the first Texas team to make the college football playoff. There it is, my 5 bowl predictions. I'm sure this will absolutely not blow up in my face.
There was a quick question here. If we go back to, let's see, number 4 right here, it was asked, you said there will be 3 new FBS coaches in Texas in 2022. Yeah. Are we saying that is at least 3? Not exactly 3, but at least 3.
I'm saying at least 3.
Okay,
I'm saying minimum
Just
3. There could be 12. There won't be 12. But I would say at least 3.
Okay. We just wanted to clarify that,
yes.
so when we go back and watch this, we can
yes.
say, no, we have it. We figured
Correct.
it out that
yeah.
day. We're not just saying he's right or wrong because.
By the way,
whatever.
I'm saying Texas will win at least 1 national championship. I would love for them to win 4.
Well, yeah, at least is the hidden asterisk.
I'd love for them to win 5. By the way, let's also throw out there. I mean, this is to go back to this. Let's also throw out there that Texas should have been playing for a junior college national championship last year. Cisco ran the table and should have been the JUCO national championship.
And then it got canceled the week of, right?
Yeah, it ended up getting canceled. But I would say that they've got an opportunity at JUCO as well. So those are my 5 bowl predictions for the 2021 college football season. Let's make sure this doesn't blow up in my face. Hey, Greg, in the future.
Demi.
You look great. You look great. Keep up the good work.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. You can also watch Texas Football Today every day live at noon on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe.